All right, so quick little breakdown of the trade today. Took a short from here, 938, fair value gap, took profit down here. Initially, I was like, okay, previous week low, that's the target, 150 points. But then what happened here, we created this low and ran higher and then started to come down again. So I was like, okay, we're going to go a little lower than previous week low. I don't know how low. So once we took that out with a strong candle and created a gap, I just kind of trailed the stop. And then we started to stall out down here. And then if you look at ES on the same time, it took the sell side liquidity at 955. So right around here, ES took sell side liquidity, and then we've kind of stalled and reversed. So we'll see what happens. We could this is probably low of the week, and we're going to bounce from here and just consolidate. But the trade, obviously the bias was short. It was obvious to me previous week low was the draw. Let's just clean this up here. As you can see, we've just consolidated overnight. We left this liquidity down here, and then we had previous week low. We did have SMT, but considering like my market maker model framework at the beginning of the week was this low, I wasn't considering that like a solid SMT to reverse because I don't really know how to explain that. That's just, I wouldn't trade along there today. I always expect NQ to take the liquidity and ES or YM to leave it untapped. So to me, NQ is the one that's always going to take the liquidity. So I was expecting previous week low. And then below that, we have May low. So that might come into play next week, depending on how we respond with the PM session today. We could leave that open and run higher from here because now we have a super nice buy model. All this is high resistance. We could kind of go into the fall this year and run that higher to make all-time highs by the end of the year. But let me stay focused to today's trade. Anyhow, we had the nice sell model here. It's very obvious. I outlined it at the beginning of the week. Just a matter of like executing. And then today, we open here. So we have an order block on the hourly. We close down below here at 8, and 9 o'clock opens high. All right. We have the order block here. 9 o'clock opens. 9:30 opens. Right here. Okay. We drop lower, run higher. We take out some liquidity here at 9:25 with a 9:35 candle, which is super important for gold block. We don't quite hit the hourly fair value, the hourly order block, but we get some SMT between YM at the high here. So there wasn't any SMT between ES, but there was some SMT with YM, which was enough to kind of consider this an SMR. So 935 was the SMR. There actually was a nice little breaker formation in here. Okay, we have a fair value gap, run higher, lower, higher, close down below. You could have executed there with a smart money reversal sell, but I elected to go with this short back up into the fair value gap when it was a little more confirmed. So we have the rejection block and the nice closure down below, and at the same time of this 935 candle, we have ES making a nice pin bar. Let me go to ES. So 935, that's a nice rejection here. So it shows a willingness to sell. Okay. And then after that, we create a nice fair value gap at 936. And at that moment, we open at 938. And let's look at ES. So ES at 938. So here we have another SMT. So here ES takes the high at 938 and then closes bearish. Rejection block here, doesn't get tested, but we have a nice bearish closure at 938 with SMT, and that kicks off the sell program for NQ. So 938, we tap the gap. That's a perfect entry. That's what you want when you want to go short. Take it as a PD array. So we have order block here. We have fair value gap, very strong. You can trust that. And you have somewhat of a CSD happening with SMT on YM and ES at the same time. And then from there, you just see it respect the up close candle. So we close down below, order block, respect it, close down below, order block, 15-second fair value gap here, right here, close below, retest, kind of consolidate. And then we have this last run up at 950, 949 to kind of take out, whoever's trailing too tight. We open at 949, go up, hit that 15-second fair value gap. Also a little support here on this wick, this 930 wick low, 931. That should function as resistance. So we have some resistance there. 950 opens, closes below, and then it takes the profit target there down below previous week low. And it's really that simple. You can plot this stuff here. I don't when I'm trading, but you can see 35 high coming from a 35 high coming from a 29 low, which is gold block. Algo path, sorry, it's the algo path. So 29, 35, boom, take your short. 23, 29, 35, blah, 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 blah. It goes all the way down. So it's perfect here. 17, 23, 29, 11. There's just no 14. So we have 11, 17, 23, 29, 35. What comes next? 47 and all the 50s and all that stuff. So you can see this run higher here. This last little manipulation was a 47.50, so we're still within the algo, and it just delivers perfectly to the end of the hour, and then we reset. So that's the trade. Very simple, very easy. I have this on the right side of my screen as the 1 minute I execute over here. I don't have the left screen to show you. I'd have to create another video. But on the left side of my screen, I have YM, ES, and Q open. I have a 1 minute chart with time cycles, and then I have an hourly chart with the same ES, YM, and NQ open. So I use basically 3, 6, 7 charts at the same time to kind of monitor everything. But on the screen at once, I have 4 charts. This one, and then 3 on the left, and I have a 49-inch monitor, so that allows me to see everything. Anyhow, I hope you guys had a good week. Looks like we're going lower again. We created another SMT, so we could go to May low, depending on what happens with if there's any news or anything, but personally, I'm done for the week, for the day. Definitely would have liked to take more advantage of the shorts this week, but it is what it is. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.